Hey everybody, we will get started here in a couple of minutes as more people come on in. Hope everyone's having a great day today. This is going to be a fun space. I think there's going to be a lot of folks joining. You guys can also, if you have any burning questions for the moment, you can add them to the thread here, and we'll get to them. We'll go ahead and get everyone up here situated first. All right, great, guys. Let's go ahead and get started with our updates for the week, and we'll see more people as they come on in here. First big update, you can now send stars directly to someone by visiting their profile on stargaze.zone. This really helps people who are using MetaMask because that is not available in the wallet right now. We also have a What's New modal. You may have seen a couple of times, which did direct you about the profile on Stargaze.zone. NFT DAOs are now live at DAO.zone. There's a video by Rama on how to use them. Thank you, Noah, for that. Whitelist mints for your wallet are now trackable through analytics-stargaze.zone. That's George's site. Thank you very much for George. We're also requesting feedback on Infinity. Please post in the channel on Discord. The Infinity transactions are also now tracked on George's site. So have a look at that to see how the pools have been acting. We did hear about an Easter egg with BitKids where you could remove the CRT filter on it. And if you visit bitkids.badkids.dad, you can do it very quickly. Just enter in the BitKid you have. Thanks, Jorge, for making that one. We did have a protocol liquidity conversation with MantaDAO yesterday. That's recorded, and you guys can have a listen to that. We have, I believe, now 4 different liquidity props going up that we'll have to vote on. NFT Nashville was this past weekend. It was a great time. Thanks for the organizers, Tank and Gaines and Joe for putting that on and getting everyone together. Shane had a talk on NFT perps, and Jorge had one on dynamic NFTs. There's also currently a governance prop on chain to store the RAN drop contract. This allows Stargaze stakers to participate in the RAN drop. And with that, let's welcome our projects for the week right now. Let's go ahead and chat with Crypto Dungeon. I believe this is your first time here. Oh, do we have a Crypto Dungeon you are requesting here? One second. Okay. I think you're up here
Hey,
now.
thanks for having me up.
Welcome. Yeah. Tell us about your background and this project.
So my background's a little interesting. I'm actually a psychiatrist and actually had to cancel a couple patients here just to jump on this. But I got into crypto maybe 3 years ago during sort of like the middle of the last bull market, I guess. And a couple friends and we got the idea of starting up a validator. We were just trying to make a company that was sort of fun that we could do together. And I tried to integrate some of the ideas that my friends had. My one friend, Brad, he always wanted to have a gaming company. And we kind of figured the crypto would be a way of financing that and sort of bringing it out instead of just sort of trying to, start that on our own without having any kind of source of revenue coming in. So we started validating on Juno and Stargaze around the same time last July. And we've been building this kind of role playing platform. We met our friend Donovan, who's our dungeon master, who's actually created all of the gaming stuff that we're doing, and we're actually launching that game very soon here. So right after our mint, which is like tomorrow and Saturday, once all the NFTs are minted out, we can organize groups. We're going to be having games that are about 4-person games at the same time, and there's the professional dungeon master who is running those games. And basically, it's like playing Dungeon Dragons, but there is a 3D graphical interface that's built into Steam, so the players will see their characters and be able to kind of look around at the world in 3 dimensions while also having that same old school sort of tabletop role playing experience. And our dungeon master is really good at what he does and very entertaining. So it's sort of like a premier real role playing experience in this game. This is just the first game that we're working on. So the NFT mint that we're launching, we only have 400 NFTs. They're all basically characters that could be in the game, and whatever you mint, that's your character. And if you don't like it, you can trade for it with someone else. But that will be the character. And there's 12 races, 12 classes, male and female. And there's a couple different traits for rarity. We have different backgrounds and different items and things like that. And once that's done, we can start actually rolling out the game. So I've been working on this for a little over a year now, and pretty excited to launch.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. A person will mint the NFT, right? And then they contact you to try and get that avatar in the game.
So most people are in our Discord, which it's actually linked to my profile in here. But the games are going to be run through Discord, so it is optional if you don't want to do video. But audio is pretty important because in Dungeons and Dragons you are talking. You have to tell your party and the dungeon master what you're going to do. But then it's through Discord, and we will actually live stream a lot of our games or record them and put them out on YouTube and Twitch. And our dungeon master sort of built this whole world that all the players are interacting in the same world, but they're in different groups, but they're affecting each other. So if one player does something massive in the world, it's going to affect every single person in the entire world, and it's sort of collaborative at the same time, but they're not all playing together because it's sort of impossible to do that where you have like 100 people playing at the same game. It would take way too long. They are sort of interacting together, and there are bigger events that will have more players, so it'll be several groups at once if there's a massive event or something like that.
What's your history with Dungeons and Dragons? Like, how did you get involved?
I've been playing since I was a little kid, and I actually didn't play for a long time. I was in school and kind of forgot about it. And then when COVID happened, I started getting into 3D printing and Dungeons and Dragons again, and just started getting obsessed. And just one of my favorite things to do. I mean, you can do that when you're young, when you're old. It's something that's social with your friends. It's a great way to have entertainment, but it's not a traditional video game, and you can't play it every day all day. It's something that you have to have a group for, and they have to be organized. But it's just something that I've always enjoyed doing since I was little, and I just kind of forgot about it for 2 decades or so, and then jumped back into it.
Yeah, it's a little piece of nostalgia, right? And
Yeah.
bringing a little bit of playfulness back in. Can you tell us maybe a little bit more about who's on the team and the art?
hmm So when I say our team, there's four of us. Really, there's my partner and I, Brad, and there's also Sanju, who I actually went to residency with. He's also a psychiatrist, and him and I put together the funds to sort of start this up. And then Brad is a software engineer, so he runs the validator service, and we're validating 10 or 11 chains right now. And then Donovan, who also goes by Princess Popcorn, he is our dungeon master, and he is a PhD history professor that works full time as a dungeon master now, and is very good at it. And he isn't cheap, so this is for him. This is if we do become successful, it will become a full time thing for him. But he's been building the world for the last 10 years or so, and program that into this application on Steam. So that's what players are going to be interacting with when we actually do play.
Yeah, that's impressive. I've actually never played Dungeons and Dragons myself, but I know it's generally like a smaller group of people, right? How would you guys manage maybe with I think 400, right, people?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're not going to be able to have 400 immediately, and the way that we're funding this is through the validation. So as we become more and more profitable, we can open it up faster and faster to more players. So there will be initially two groups of four. So 8 of the NFTs that are the rarest, they're going to be the first 8 people to play, and they're going to get a chance to play the game before anyone else. And it is play to earn. So if you own our NFT and you play the games, if you also stake with us, then you're actually making revenue, and you're getting DAO tokens every single time you play. And we're distributing 50% of our validator profits to the players and the owners of the DAO token every month. So I'm giving away a lot because I really feel like if we take care of people and they're happy and they're loving our game, we're going to do really well because people are going to end up staking with us and sticking with us. So it's not going to be everyone at once, but as we grow and we're becoming more and more profitable as we've been doing this, we should be able to roll it out much faster. And there's other games that we're going to be having as well too, which will help roll it out faster.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Yeah, so it sounds like there may be a little bit of a trading competition to get those eight most rarest NFTs to participate in the game initially, huh?
Well, that was the idea.
Yeah, yeah, gamifying it.
Hmm.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and hear from Plucky Penguins right now.
Hello, hi guys. Yeah, hopefully there's no background noise. I'm actually at Dove's house as we speak. So if there is any noise, I apologize for that. But for some sort of background or some context, Dove is the founder for Kujira, or one of the co-founders. I'm KP, who, to be honest, my my Twitter account has just been banned, so you won't be able to follow me on Twitter, which is nice. But I work for Kujira. I do some of their sort of content, cross-chain strategies. You probably see me on Twitter spouting off about something. But because of my work at Kujira and because of my deep understanding of things that are going on there, I realized that we needed some liquidity for Bitcoin and Ethereum assets. And I didn't want to just do a sort of a normal raise where we, I don't know, perhaps sell some Kuji tokens OTC or involve some VCs, because that's pretty, it's against the Kujira way and against the things that we've done, the way that we've done things so far. So I came up with the idea to launch a NFT project. With the mint proceeds from this project, we'll be matching it with Kuji from the team's operational budget. So we aim to be getting sort of, I think, $45,000 worth of USK, which is the Kujira's decentralized stablecoin. With that, we'll be matching it with 45K worth of Kuji for $90,000 total of Bitcoin Kuji and Ethereum Kuji liquidity on Kujira. Now, that'll be earning obviously trading rewards, but also incentives as well on top of it, which at the moment I think are just denominated in Kuji tokens. And every week, 5 NFT holders from the Plucky Penguins will be, will receive that yield. So obviously at the moment it's about $90,000, earning I think 20% APR at the moment actually. So that would be sort of $300 a week that's distributed to 5 NFT holders every single week. This is done via a lottery basis. So you've got 2 rarities of NFT for the Penguins. You've got normal and gold. The normal ones will just get 1 entry into the lottery, and the gold ones will get 3 extra entries. So that's sort of the basic pitch for what Plucky Penguins is. If you know nothing about DeFi and you know nothing about sort of Kujira, this is a nice entry level where you get to earn some rewards from putting the liquidity to work, and it's raffled off to holders on a weekly basis. So that's the easy to understand one. What we also have going on in the background is I figured it'd be quite wasteful to have a community of people, a community of NFT holders that, after the mint had happened, we've made the LP, they get rewarded every week, and that's that. There wouldn't be much engagement. It'd be a waste of a community. So I was sort of thinking of different ways that we could play with it. And what we've decided is that we'll have a storyline that backs the entire collection. So apologies. So yeah, we'll have a storyline where your engagement on social media and your interactions within Kujira itself will dictate the storyline. So for example, let's say we've got the shrimps here. So let's say that the penguins and the shrimps are about to go into battle, and the penguins need to do a supply run. For that supply run to be successful, they would have to swap more 7-day volume on MantaSwap, or mint more USK, or deposit USK into Orca. So sort of just using the DeFi building blocks that Kujira's built out. By using them in a gamified way, you get to earn rewards. You progress the storyline, so you directly impact the direction of the storyline, which we will post on Medium every week. And it will basically just end in a big battle where we'll unify all of these NFT projects together, get them engaged, get them perhaps colluding with each other, or making enemies, that kind of thing. So it'll just be a good, fun way of bringing out that competitiveness in crypto and centralizing it into, okay, how can we introduce people to Kujira? Because we've had a lot of people from Injective, a lot of people from Cardano, from all of these different communities. So that's the core aim, is that obviously, look, you'll be earning yield from the BO LPs, from providing liquidity, but you'll also be learning all of our products as well. And while you're learning, you'll be impacting the direction of the storyline, which impacts your rewards at the end of it. So yeah, I think that's probably it. I've realized I've spoke quite quickly, but yeah, I don't want to waste too much of your time.
No, great. Thanks for the overview. Yeah, so Plucky Penguins are pretty much like an official kind of Kujira NFT project, right? Like it's coming from the team directly, right?
I think that'd probably be false advertising because it's not through the core team itself. I am on the team, so I suppose it is from the team itself, but it's just endorsed by Kujira. I'd say is perhaps more apt because we're essentially we're using Kuji tokens from the operational budget, matching it with the raise from the NFT mint, and providing that as liquidity for protocol and liquidity as well. So Kujira would own that liquidity. Any revenue and any rewards will be directed to Plucky Penguins holders.
Okay, great. And you guys are going to launch on a different day, not a Friday, right? It's going to be 14th. Anything significant about that day?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, we'll be next. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday, the 14th of November. It's so-called Kuji Independence Day because that was when we launched our token sort of 2 years ago. There was actually a 2-year vesting period on the team tokens. So it was supposed to be obviously on the 14th that all of these team tokens are finally vested. But obviously that happened today. I think just because it takes a day off every year. So it's not a whole 365 and a quarter days or whatever it is. So yeah, Kujira Independence Day, 14th. All of the tokens are vested. There's no more that can come into circulation or anything like that. And I think it's just symbolic for all of the Kujira community that we've come so far in 2 years, especially obviously with the recent momentum as well. That 2 years later we're here, and the stars have sort of aligned where we can launch this NFT collection to sort of honor that. And yeah, I think it's really interesting.
Great. Yeah. Is there anyone else in the team you'd like to mention or anything else about the art?
Yeah, for sure. So there's only myself and my long-term friend. He's the one that does all of the artwork itself. So he's been doing that for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months or so. But he also, his like full-time job is, it's a bit interesting. He plays cricket professionally in New Zealand, but he also owns a clothing store. So he'll be in charge of the merch store when we launch that as well, which will be quite soon after the mint. Obviously, if you're living under a rock, you might not have seen the Newt memes, but yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with those and making a lot of designs for that as well. So there'll be merch paid in USK, paid in Kuji as well. Just showing off that we're a composable ecosystem. We've got stable coins. We've got Bow, so that we can leverage our yield for the NFT mint. So yeah, we're sort of using every aspect of the Kujira ecosystem, bundle it together in a fun way that people can interact with.
Yeah, we do have a lot of crossover with the Kujira and Stargaze communities. So and if people are kind of unfamiliar and they wanted to get their feet wet, this would be a good project to get involved with, right? To learn everything about the Kujira ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. And as part of the run up to this, I've made sure to big up the Stars team and for people to realize why we've launched on Stargaze. So yeah, it just makes sense. Even before I was even looking at the NFT, I was quite congratulative of what Stargaze had achieved. So I think for us it was an easy decision. It was obvious that we were going to launch here, and yeah, we couldn't be happier with the decision we've made.
Great, thanks, and good luck to New Zealand. I think they may just make the semifinals for the World Cup. So I hope that goes through for them. Let's go ahead and hear from Signal right now.
Hey, how's it going, Ruin?
It's going well. Welcome back. Tell us about this new project.
Yeah, I'm up here with Drew as well. You can call me Brady, by the way, just so it's not confusing. Who's who here? I'll let Drew talk about the video. But just as like a tiny bit of background about the project, we've been active for I guess almost a couple of years now, or year and a half or something on Stargaze. We have a few limited collections out. Signal itself is kind of built around a specific kind of story and universe about alien contact, and a lot of our NFTs have these kind of deep puzzles and lore built around them. So this open edition is a video And at the same time, we're launching our game, which is a browser-based, text-based game that utilizes NFTs from our project, as well as some other projects that are currently on Stargaze. We've built little scenarios for some other projects as well. We're launching that. That'll be live either tonight or tomorrow morning before our mint goes out. Is it okay if I pin a few things in the nest?
No, please do. Yeah, we should be
Okay,
pinning
sweet.
more, actually.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll maybe let Drew talk a little bit about Civilization itself, the NFT coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, Brady. Yeah, as you mentioned, this is our first open edition, and it's similar, but to a lot of stuff we've done in the past. Any kind of limited collection that we've done in the past has always been like I guess you could say it's like traditional in the sense that it's a static image. But part of this project is that it's so multifaceted as far as it being like a multimedia project. Like there are video pieces that we've done in the past that haven't necessarily made it Stargaze, maybe up until way later or whatever. But the first one that is part of our like traditional like transmissions that you could call them, that is going to be featured on Stargaze immediately. And in terms of how it kind of like ties into the narrative of the project overall, this is kind of the latest, message that Signal Organization has received from an extraterrestrial source. I don't want to say too much about it, but the essence of it is that it's like an audio visual piece. The audio was done by our basically our team member who is like excuse me, an audio guy. Has a lot of doing like audio for video games and like other different kinds of media and that kind of thing. And the concept behind the piece is that, well, I'm hesitant to like I said, reveal too much about like what exactly it is. I don't know, Brady. What should I talk about in terms of in terms of the actual direction?
I think it's fair. It's kind of like if something was observing Earth and conceptually like looking at all like the random emissions from Earth, like radio and television and things like that, and trying to interpret those. So it's kind of playing with this like signal and noise thing, where it's like you don't necessarily know what is a deliberate message for you and what is just like random banter, let's say, or something like that on like radio waves. I guess if you were kind of monitoring some alien world that you didn't have any context for understanding. That's kind of what it's built around, I'd say. And then I pinned in the nest another thing just on the audio is that we have like embedded in the audio are images from previous collections, from previous NFTs we've done. So if you were to take the audio from this and you put it through like a spectrogram, it generates all these images, which is something similar to how when we've sent out messages from aliens to maybe find, it's this setup where you play the recording and you're able to draw images from that. So it's kind of like an homage to that style. And that's something that we've deployed in the past for various puzzles when putting out different multimedia. So it's kind of bringing all of that together. Another thing I just wanted to say for the open mint is that like a lot of what we've done so far has been these very limited one-of-one pieces. And so for this, like kind of excited to have something that's more accessible, so that lots of people that may be enjoying our project on the sidelines, but that don't necessarily own a piece, kind of have an opportunity to do so. And I think that like the quality of the piece and like the depth of it really makes it kind of worthwhile. It's like 153 stars. It's cheap, but it's like this 2.5 minute like really in depth kind of almost like short experimental film.
That's very cool. Yeah. You guys have always like done like very intricate, like high quality work that requires like more time to actually you get a lot more out of it every time you have a look at it. I see you guys also have this Oracle game that anyone can play.
Yeah, that's coming out. Like I said, like I gotta do. We were actually doing a bunch of testing last night. I have to fix a few things and to redeploy a couple times. But yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. We're timing it with this launch, or with the open edition launch. And basically, this is a free-to-play browser game that utilizes NFTs from Stargaze. And so what it is like when you're playing, it's like a text-based input game where you're moving around on some kind of adventure, and then NFTs are loading on the side in the kind of viewing monitor. And our idea with this, and then there's also like a link directly to Stargaze to that NFT. So our idea with this is that it's a kind of like more Web 2 approach to kind of like put a spotlight on different projects that are in Stargaze. Make a game that's like, as much as like, you know, a lot of games around NFTs are like luck or gambling based, but we're really trying to make a game that's just kind of a game on its own, you know, that it's playable. There's kind of interesting little stories that you go through, and then those are built around NFT collection. So at launch there's one for hours, one scenario that is like, I would say it's like quite complex, and if anyone plays it, that's like the kind of very hard mode. And then we also wrote up scenarios for one, the Riddler project, which is this kind of dialogue based thing. And then one that's like the Squad, which includes like Stardy NFTs, baddies versus goodies, the WADs, of course. And that one's this kind of like more classic, like kind of like a dungeon crawling kind of exploration game, with a kind of cute little story that we tried to design to fit the, like, I guess you'd say, motif of those projects. Yeah, so it's something that we're trying to build that's like not just for us, but for the just for the broader Stargaze community. And yeah, we're hoping to, over time, like feature more and more scenarios or stories on that platform and put them out regularly, either things that are based in our universe or in collaboration with other projects.
Great, yeah. And another thing I wanted to mention is that you guys were one of the first projects that we've had that ever like created a DAO. And now NFT DAOs are just live on Stargaze as of recently. So hope you guys are able to help out other people who have any questions on how to manage a DAO, and maybe any advice you have to people would be great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely like happy to talk with anyone. I thought at length about DAOs. Like we created ours like when DAO was still like in beta, and it was like, we don't necessarily recommend creating a DAO on this. You know what I mean? And especially over, I don't know, with a lot of DAOs having issues over the last couple of years, I've thought extensively about, you know, settings and security and optimizing, like I don't know, the kind of like distribution versus efficacy for how your DAO can operate and all that kind of stuff. I've written about that on Medium, and so on. Very happy to talk about that with anybody.
Yeah, I think we should maybe have a separate space about that, because it can definitely get very in depth, huh?
Yeah, that would be really cool, actually. And we've done a DAO space before, like with Atlas DAO and also like Cleomedes on Juno. They're really, really good people to speak with about the subject as well. But would love to join that.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and hear from Manta Squad with their project. Welcome, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. So in behalf of MantaDAO, Shrimp Club is here because Mike is currently sleeping right now, so he wasn't able to participate in the call. But me and Lower are here. We are the Shrimp Club members and founders. We create Shrimp Club back in Kujira, born in Kujira, and yeah, we are here right now. Want to say something, Lower?
Yeah, hello, thank you for inviting us. So basically about the Manta collection, we just joined our forces with Mike because he asked us to do the art and also get some of our experiences in this space. So we created a collection in the same style that the shrimps are. Also, the stories are connected because Mantas came to like hunt out the shrimps and like remove them out of this world because they are obviously getting really big. And I'm joking. We are staying here. The Manta project is like specific for its members. I believe this is really a community thing. The main goal is to raise some funds for the stars liquidity to pair with Kujira, and also to provide some value to Manta lovers. So basically, it's a profile picture NFTs with some perks in the future on the Manta swap. You can put that profile picture in the Manta swap, and also Mike told us some alpha that he plans to give some benefits to the Manta holders. Yeah, so that's basically the concept of it. Do you have like any questions, because our English is really a low level, so it's hard to come out with some ideas by myself. So if you could help us with some
Yeah,
questions.
no, of course. So we did talk with the MantaDAO yesterday about the protocol and liquidity, right? Can you tell us what's going to happen with the revenue generated from this project?
Yes, so the revenue will be took apart, like part of it will come to the Shrimp Club for the cooperation, and the bigger slice will go to the liquidity. We will, or MantaDAO will take the stars and pair it in the pool on Kujira, so it will like help to make better liquidity for stars and Stargaze, which we really need on the Kujira space. There is not much liquidity now.
One point, it's not stars, it's USK. So the proposal, the proposal made by Pragmatic Monkey, so he talked in the community call yesterday. It was to pair that USK with stars to provide liquidity on Fin, on both, in this case, the MMA, to deepen the liquidity on Kujira side. So you have stars paid with USK that is provided with the mint profits from this collection. But you can check the full proposal. We will put the link in this space, so you can check it if you need it.
Yeah, thank you for correcting me.
Thanks. Yeah, I believe from what I understand, yeah, a portion of the USK generated, I think it's something roughly like 35K is going to be matched with a treasury for another like roughly 35K off the USK. And then there will be like a proposal on the Stargaze for the Stargaze community pool to match that portion to just to create liquidity, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's kind of the general idea.
Yeah. That's the idea. The idea is to use the mint profits from USK to pair with the stars to provide liquidity on both. Yeah, using the treasury, the stars that they are in treasury from the Stargaze pool, I think.
Yeah. So, what were some of the perks? I don't suppose you can reveal anything just yet for that holders could get. Any revelations from Mike?
So currently, if you use MantaSwap, you get like a little shrimp. If you hold a shrimp on Stargaze, you have a shrimp NFT profile picture on MantaSwap. So I guess after Manta's mint, you will start to have Manta's profile picture on the MantaSwap. He also mentioned some competitions between mantas and shrimps with prizes, but so it's not currently defined yet, and everything needs to be approved by the DAO. But it's basically, the concept is basically you have like so if you have a manta profile picture of you are team manta, you create volume on MantaSwap, and those volumes are counted between mantas and between shrimps, and you do like a competition, so who does more volume than the other, and whoever wins the competition gets a prize. Yeah, that's one. And there are some other integrations that he wants to do, but that's something further along the line. And for now, it's just mostly this integration.
He mentioned some benefits across the MantaDAO, but he didn't reveal them to us yet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there'll be like trading competitions between like Shrimp Gang and the Mantas.
Yeah. So the idea of the mantas are to compete always with the shrimps. We initially created like the mantas don't like the shrimps at all, and they were like hate each other and then don't like each other. Yeah, so it's a competition between those two.
Great. Yeah, the Kajira projects have always found a lot of success on Stargaze. Glad to have another one here. I think this is maybe definitely more than 4 we have now. I think there's 2 on the space at the moment.
Yes,
But go ahead.
sorry. It's like I believe that Kujira is really original. That we are basically using Stargaze and NFTs here for community management, I guess, because it really helps us to connect together and to determine the active members of the community. So I believe this is also the task of the Manta and why Mike decided to make Manta NFTs. I think this synergy of Stargaze and Kujira is really strong in here, and it really works with our community. So I believe this is the reason that Mike decided to do a collection as well.
Yeah, stronger together. Let's go ahead and take some questions from the audience. If there's anyone that has a question or comment, please request to speak and we'll get you answered. I think currently we have Manta Squad and Signal available for questions, but and Crypto Dungeon is back.
Hey, could I ask a question?
Of course.
Yeah. Just so I know that the Manta ones are minting as USK. How do you get USK? How does that work? I haven't actually minted using like a different token on Stargaze. So do you trade for it so that it's like IBC on Stargaze chain, or how exactly does that work? Do I just have to have USK in my USK wallet, or what?
Yeah, so there'll be a little deposit button when you go to mint the NFT, and that'll allow you to deposit USK onto Stargaze and then mint. We actually have a little test one up. I know Stardy could share that, and I think you'd mint it with like 10 cents of USK or 1 cent of USK. But yeah, simply you'd go to the project that's minting. That'd be a button to deposit USK, and then it'll transfer in if you already have it on in Kajira or somewhere else. So
awesome, thank you.
Pretty straightforward. That's how it worked with the friends token as well.
So it's like the deposit thing is right there on the launch pad when you go to mint.
Yeah. The deposit it'll be on the minter. So you go to the minter, and then it will be on there. It'll show you the deposit. Let me just double check. But yeah, that is correct. It should be pretty easy to do. Let's see here.
If we have the USK in Stargaze, if we IBC it before, it's fine too.
Yeah, if you IBC it manually, then it'll be on the Stargaze chain anyways, and you'll just be able to mint directly because the assets are on Stargaze.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
And we will be adding an assets tab in your profile. That'll come out later today, so it'll be even easier. I believe it'll look maybe a little similar to what you see on Osmosis or other sites. No, 1 second. And it looks like we have Jorge here to maybe give a little bit more of a explanation.
Guys, I just wanted to chime in and give a bit more of details. Yeah, there will be also an assets tab on your profile released later today that you can also use to deposit different assets before any mint. Currently, the way it was is on your minter, when the collection is created before minting, there's like a deposit button when you go to the minter. But we will keep that one, but we will also add that assets tab on your profile so you can deposit anytime.
Yeah, thanks for the update, Jorge. Yeah, so you and will we be able to just deposit any asset basically, or is it going to be restricted to the ones that are available to be minting?
Yeah, exactly. For now, it will be to the assets supported for minting, like being USK, USDC. Those are the ones that we can support. So for any other new asset that will be supported for minting, those are the ones that we will add to the assets tab.
Great. Yeah, thanks for the update. Any other questions from the audience? That was a great one. Thanks, Signal. We've got 4 really great projects here. Minting this week. Our launch pad is going to be full up. Crypto Dungeon. When I don't know if you answered this or not, but when is the first game going to take place?
So it's a good question. It sort of depends on the mint. If everything mints and some of the players that got the rarest ones are willing to start and they're wanting to play, then we can jump in right away. So we're going to roll it out based on tiers. So that'll be the first group, and then the next background will be the second group and the third group, and we'll keep expanding as we're able to. But it could be a week or two. That's what I'm hoping. We've been playing already and live streaming and recording, but we haven't really had players yet. Just sort of testing everything out.
And how often do you think you guys will play? Is it going to be like a weekly thing or a bi-weekly thing?
Bi-weekly, 3 to 4 hours each game, 4 players is what I'm thinking. Most people can't do more than that, especially if they're professional or anything like that. So it is a scheduled game because we have to schedule the dungeon master, and it has to be the group all playing at the same time.
Okay, got it. Signal. I've got a question on your project. You guys have always like done very cool, like innovative projects. I suppose, yeah. What's going to be next after this? Like I know you guys have a lot planned on what you want to do. How does this fit into the narrative?
So when the game launches, I'll have the opportunity to regularly kind of put out new scenarios on that. So that will be something that's using our existing NFTs, our collections that are already out, and kind of like building more around those. So hopefully that will be like rewarding to existing holders. And then we're in conversation with a couple other projects to collaborate on specific collections that will launch with a game attached to them. That's for one. I don't know if Drew wanted to add.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the next piece that we put out, it's always hard to say. That's kind of as like the, I guess, sort of art lead on the project, that, you know, my main contribution to it. And there's always something that we're kind of cooking up. Like this one that we're putting out now has essentially like been in the works to some degree or another for several months as we've been working on and off of it and whatnot. Obviously been pushing hard to get this out over the past few weeks. There are a couple other like ideas on the back burner that again we're working on. We're working on a few concepts for expanded alphabet. We have like an existing character set that we use within our project that we use to integrate into some puzzles and stuff like that. One thing that we're interested in doing is expanding that to essentially for a lot of reasons, but part of it is so we can build more comprehensive puzzles, so we can flesh out this a little bit more. And there's a few other things as well, but again, a lot of them are kind of like nuggets of ideas right now. But yeah, like I said, there's always something kind of on the go or something like in the back of our heads that we tend to work on and off of over time. Am I missing anything there, Brady? Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Yeah, like with that character set, like we've been working on this kind of like 64 character alien language and alphabet. I guess it's not necessarily an alphabet, but like a script that the aliens use to communicate. And so like we've been tossing around ideas on how to deliver that. I think it'd be neat to kind of do a collection that was built around like sort of like idioms from this extraterrestrial source that have associated imagery around them with like kind of the characters as the centerpiece, for example. But we'll kind of see exactly how that turns out in the end.
That's really cool. Yeah, I don't even remember if I knew you guys were pretty much creating a language. It's really fun and innovative.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, we launched just with like a video that was like, we started by just creating 10 character. Our first collection that we put on Stargaze is called Base 10, and it's the numbers 1 to 9, 0 to 9, in these characters that Drew designed for them, and then we put that out as a puzzle. So it was just those characters in the sequence of pi. And then the community was able to like, okay, this is the order of them, and then figure out that it was pi, right? Which is like a reasonable first communication that an alien species might send to another one to demonstrate that they're intelligent or whatever. So we did start with that with numbers, and then we're planning on expanding that into a kind of full basic language.
Yeah, that's impressive. I know it's going to take a lot of time and effort, and thanks for bringing something so cool to Stargaze. So yeah, if there are any more questions or comments, please request to speak or add a comment on the thread. Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we call the space? Signal and Manta, guys? You guys good? Said everything you needed to?
Yeah, we are really sorry for our limited English skills. So thank you for giving us some space and patience.
Thank you very much for joining and creating a fun project, and helping generate deeper liquidity in a stars pair. All right, awesome, guys. With that, let's call it a space. Everyone have a great Fresh Mint Friday, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, and bye.